Hey guys, those seatbelts go from left to right, and make sure to pull on those yellow tabs. We are dropping into the final episode of Season 2 of Thrilling Sound. I can't thank you guys enough for listening and supporting me throughout this season. This summer has been a weird one for me. Transitioning from undergrad to my career and graduate studies has been tough. I am proud of myself for pushing through and completing this project. It takes true discipline to complete a personal project. No one is forcing you or reminding you of your own due dates. It is just you and your passion. Thank you again for listening. Now, let's talk about theme parks. In this episode, I would like to explore the sound design of Disney's Space Mountain. My reference for this iconic attraction is in Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom. We'll be focusing on that version of the attraction mostly, but we will blast off to other ports later in the episode.
At 15 seconds, guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
In 1975, Space Mountain opened as one of the first completely indoor and in-the-dark roller coasters. While being in the dark provides a thrilling experience for guests, it also allows for AV engineers to more easily hide their gear. Because the ride takes place almost entirely in darkness, Imagineers could strategically place speakers, projectors, and lighting fixtures without them being noticeable to guests. In the Magic Kingdom version, there's no onboard audio system, so all the music and effects come from the offboard sources. This means that every sound is carefully timed and positioned in the building itself, bouncing through the massive dome so that guests feel surrounded by the atmosphere, no matter where their rocket is on their track. The projected stars are a perfect example of this blend of audio and visual design. Dozens of pinpoint light sources and projectors are mounted high above the track, with mirrors and scrims creating the illusion of endless space. Because guests can't see the hardware in the dark, these simple but well-placed effects feel larger than life, and even the gentle hum of the projection equipment is masked by the ambient soundscapes, low rumbles, whooshes, and sparkling tones. That means nothing breaks the illusion of gliding through the cosmos. By hiding the gear in plain sight, or in complete darkness, Imagineers turned a relatively simple hardware setup into an unforgettable sensory experience. You are not thinking about projectors, scrims, or speakers. You are thinking about how you were launched into space. Did you know the cue music for Space Mountain once had lyrics? Since 1985, the Magic Kingdom version has featured an instrumental piece called We've Come So Far, Promising Tomorrows, composed by George Wilkins. When it first debuted, it wasn't just instrumental. It had lyrics promoting RCA, the attraction's sponsor from 1975 to 1993. The song painted a hopeful picture of the future, tying RCA's vision of technology with the Tomorrowland's optimistic theme. When the sponsorship ended, the lyrics quietly disappeared, but the instrumental arrangement stayed, becoming one of the most recognizable pieces of music in the park. The piece features light and airy synths that make you feel like you are soaring through the sky. A playful slide whistle emulates spacecraft's zooming past, while the main melody is carried by an echoey bell that brings you back to a sense of childlike wonder. Combined with the Star Tunnel's glowing lights, the music makes you feel like you're already on your journey through space, before you even board your rocket. It is more than background music. It is the heartbeat of the attraction's atmosphere, a piece of nostalgic optimism that will hold up for years to come. Part of the magic is how seamlessly the music blends with the rest of the queue's soundscape. Subtle ambient tones layer underneath, creating a sense of endless depth, almost like the walls themselves are humming with energy. The melody loops without feeling repetitive, gradually building anticipation as you move closer to the loading platform. This slow, steady progression mirrors the countdown into a space launch, keeping you immersed in the narrative even before the ride begins. For many guests, this music is so tied to the memory of riding Space Mountain that just hearing a few notes can instantly transport them back into the glowing tunnel in Tomorrowland. While the Magic Kingdom version relies entirely on offboard audio, other Space Mountains around the world take a very different approach. At Disneyland in California, the trains feature onboard speakers giving a ride a synchronous soundtrack from start to finish. The music was originally composed by Michael Giacchino and is timed to every twist and drop, blending rock orchestral energy with sci-fi effects. The onboard system means that the mix stays consistent no matter where you are on the track, a luxury Florida's dome-wide sound doesn't have. Over in Paris, their Space Mountain pushes the AV even further. This version features features a massive launch cannon, synchronized projections effects, and high-energy onboard soundtrack. The projection mapping inside the dome is brighter and more intense than Florida, with strobes, lasers, and themed show lighting tied precisely to the ride's music and story beats. Tokyo Disneyland's version sits somewhere in between. It doesn't use onboard audio like California or Paris, but it leans heavily on dynamic lighting effects inside the dome. Guests pass through glowing tunnels and meteor fields and supernovas, all timed to ambient space music playing from hidden speakers. Each version's AV design reflects its creative goals. Florida is about atmosphere and mystery, letting the darkness and ambient effects and projection illusions carry the experience. California is a choreographed musical journey, every turn scored like the film. Paris is full of sci-fi spectacle, blending high-speed thrills with bold visuals. Tokyo is clean, crisp, and classic, with a slightly updated look that feels like a nod to the 1975 original. So when is sound design good design? It is when every element, whether it's a hidden AV hardware in Florida's dome, the hopeful synth melodies of We've Come So Far, or the precise timing of projections and effects, works together to pull you completely into the story. It is when the cue music sets the tone even before you board, when the darkness hides the gear but not the magic, when each version around the world uses its own blend of audio and visuals to create something unforgettable. From the ambient hum of Tomorrowland's Star Tunnel to the synchronized beats of California, the high-energy spectacle of Paris, and the crisp visuals of Tokyo, Space Mountain provides the best sound design that does not just fill the air, it shapes the entire journey. Space Mountain will always be one of my favorite attractions. I dressed up as an astronaut for 2018's Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and after we got home from a trip to Orlando in 2010, I remember getting out of the car after a long day of traveling and looking up to the sky. The stars in rural New Jersey looked just like the stars in Space Mountain. Maybe I wasn't so far from the magic after all. Into the season, I don't know when I'll see you next, but I appreciate the time that we've had together. If you're ever feeling lonely, maybe try to look at the stars. Until then, please exit all the way to your left and keep your ears open.